Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Asad Yaqub here, and I welcome you all to a super duper video on IELTS. In this video, I'm going to give you guideline on how to deal with all 4 modules of IELTS. Okay, get ready for that. But before we start, I want you to mark your attendance and do let me know where you are from. Okay, what you did, where you're from, as long as you. Yeah, exactly. It's a popular song. Well, guys, these days IELTS people are very busy because many students are attending IELTS exams. They are actually going to the test centers, and the whole thing is getting so much momentum. Let me tell you, you can get good bench score if you are familiar with 2 things. Number 1, the format of the exam. Number 2, how to attempt your IELTS exam, and I'm going to tell you both things in this video. This video is for those who are planning to appear in computer delivered IELTS, but same tips may help paper delivered IELTS candidates as well. Let's get started. Your IELTS exam starts with listening, and they give you pencil and paper. On pencil and paper, there are the login details which you have to insert the computer, and then you log in. Okay, and that pencil and paper, they remain on the table. In case in listening, if the audio is fast and you miss any answer, you can always write the answer on piece of paper. Remember, in listening, initially they give you half minute to read the questions and half questions. In every part of IELTS listening, there are 10 questions. They'll give you time to read questions 1 to 5, and you can read questions 1 to 5. When you read the question, there are 2 things that you have to do. The first thing is what is before the blank, because they usually temper that word and they use the synonym of that very word, and then right after the synonym, there is the answer. So you need to see that. Second, you must see what sort of information is needed to answer this question. In part 1, usually there are dates, there are days, time, okay, name of the person, they spell something and you write it down. So when you read the question, you have to focus what is written before the question. And sometimes if in listening part 1, they have table completion. So there is question number 2, the information which is given above that question and below that question, that will also help you predict what is going to be the answer. In listening part 1, when they say you now have some time to look at questions 6 to 10, 5 to 10, 7 to 10, you got to read the questions. And again, when you read the question in part 1, you have to see what sort of information is needed to answer this question and what is the word before that blank, so that you could make up your mind what is going to be the synonym of that. After this, the second important thing is part 2. In part 2, things change entirely. Part 1 is social, part 2 is also social, but in part 2, there is an audio commentary. In part 1, there is a dialogue. So in part 1, when there is an audio commentary, one person talks. Usually it is an audio commentary about for tourists, audio commentary about a museum or anything like that. Or maybe one person is giving a talk to, like it's induction talk, to new apprentices and all that stuff. Now in part 2, they commonly give you multiple choice questions, right? There are 2 sets of questions in part 2. One is multiple choice, and second is actually they can be a map, or they can be matching type of questions, or they can be double multiple choice questions and single multiple choice questions. For this type of question or these type of questions, your skim reading is very, very important. You should be able to skim read the question, because you know you are really pressed for time in the reading, in listening part 2. So try to skim read the main question and then skim read the options. And as the audio is going on, you need to see out of 3 options, 2 options should be eliminated and one option should be selected, which is your answer. So elimination is the best technique for listening part 2. Now, once the part 2 is over, we got maps as well, and there is a specific language of maps, especially like go straight ahead, take first right turn, in the corner, in front of, behind, next to, adjacent. So you need to learn these words and phrases. Let's go on with listening part 3. In IELTS listening part 3, suddenly the things change. Instead of social conversation, there is an educational conversation. Two students are discussing their final project or their dissertation. A tutor and a student, they are discussing a presentation. So things change altogether, and the questions are multiple choice questions, matching type of questions, and double multiple choice questions. And I call this part of IELTS listening as dinosaur. Okay, audio is fluent, content is educational, questions are multiple choice, and you innocent guy is there to answer these questions, and students do a lot of guessing in listening part 2. The best thing is in listening part 3, you have to skim read the questions, and as the audio goes on, go through the options and see which option is being discussed, which option you have to eliminate. If out of 3 you successfully eliminate one option, believe me, there are 2 options and you can guess from these 2 options as well, right? So this is how it continues. Part 3 can be stormy in IELTS listening. Then you enter part 4 listening. In part 4, it is a lecture. Once again, you get back to the format, one word only, one word and or a number, and there is a lecture, and the question type is notes completion. So whatever is written before the blank or after the blank, sometimes they write a and dash. Now the synonym of and will give you the answer as well as also. So before the blank, whatever the word is, the synonym of that word will help you. And again, read the questions. The first, observe the word which is written before the blank. Second, what kind of information is going to be the answer? The answer is going to be the species of bird. The answer is going to be the name of a person. The answer is going to be the name of a process and all that. And what is given information will help you find missing information. And do one more thing. In listening part 4, students get lost. They are somewhere, audio is somewhere. So signposting is the best technique to deal with that. Signposting means highlight some big words like names, dates, and all that stuff. This is all about listening. Now let's talk about reading. Before I proceed, let me tell you, on my website asadyaqub.com, I have created a book which is called Digital Book on IELTS Listening. This digital book contains practice tests and solved tests, and there are around 80 or 80 plus practice tests, and the same tests are solved as well, solved by me, so that you understand each and everything. If you want to get the digital book on listening, please do contact me and I'll let you know about that. Reading module. Reading passage 1 is the basic one. In reading passage 1, they give you questions like word completion and true false not given. So both questions are type A questions. For example, question number 1, sentence completion. Now when you read the title, all right, or you read the sentence, okay, before the blank, that gives you the clue word. So your first target is to scan, not to read. Please do not read, just scan and see where that relevant information is. Once you reach the right paragraph where there is the answer, now read the question carefully and then find the answer. Write the answer in the blank and read the sentence, because wrong answer will never match. Logically, language wise, grammatically, wrong answer will never give any sense. It will give the nonsense actually. Okay, then go on, find second answer. And in reading part 1, sentence completion, true false not given, questions and answers are in order. In true false not given sentence, you need to find a word or a phrase which is going to decide whether the answer is going to be false or not given. If information is same, it's true. If information is contrary, it's false. And if there is no information, it is not given. Okay, so this is reading part 1. In reading part 2, they go to the next level of your reading, and there they give you questions. Which paragraph contains the following information, which is totally based on scanning. You have to scan the entire passage. That is why I advise you to do this question type last in that very section. Start with sentence completion, multiple choice, true, false, not given, yes, no, not given, because these are type A questions. Then they give you a list of headings. Remember, if the passage is labeled A, B, C, D, there must be two type of questions and they are both type B. Type B means questions and answers are in random order. That is list of headings and which paragraph contains the following information. For list of headings, it is a good idea to read the first couple of sentences, one in the middle and the last sentence, and then to make up your mind what sort of heading is going to be appropriate for that, and then go down the list of headings and see what matches. Always start with the short paragraph, whether it is the last paragraph, because the last paragraphs are rather short, or sometimes middle paragraphs are short. So start with the short paragraph so that you easily find the heading for that, and one heading will be used once only, so you can do it easily. For which paragraph contains the following information, do it last. Start with the last question, because the answer of last question is in the first couple of paragraphs, and the answer of first 2-3 questions that may be in the last paragraphs. So like this you can find. For reading, I have developed a digital book for IELTS reading that has got the latest tests, and we've got around 70 plus practice tests and 70 plus solved tests, which I have solved question by question, guys. I've done a lot of work on IELTS, okay? So you can get the digital book. It's on our website. For details, you can contact us. Now, IELTS reading part 3. In part 3, the most common questions are matching, where you have to match the list of scientists with their statements. And over here, the statements and the passage, they are not in order, but the names of scientists and the passage, they are in order. So the best thing is highlight all the names, then read the questions as well, and then go down the list of those scientists and see if there is anything that matches with that, okay? This is important question type. Then we've got yes, no, not given. It's like the cousin of true, false, not given. You do it the same way. And again, whenever you do your reading, try to do type A questions first and type B questions last. And I told you list of headings and which paragraph contains the following information. They are type B. Do them last and other questions first. That is the end of IELTS reading. After that, there is IELTS writing. For writing, there are 4 items in academic writing task 1 and there are 4 items in academic writing task 2, essay writing. 4 types of essays, 4 types of reports. So it's a good idea to be familiar with every type of essay. The most important is graph with trend, where the continuous years are given and you have to write a report. And the second one is comparative graph. The most important essay for academic IELTS candidates is opinion essay. Then there is that problem solution essay, positive, negative, development, advantages, outweigh drawbacks and all that. For academic writing, I have compiled this book. This book has got 8 units, and these 8 units will cover writing task 1, the first 4 units, and writing task 2, the last 4 units. This book is available in physical form in Pakistan only and PDF form all over the world. And we've got the same book for general training candidates as well. Now, most important part of your writing is essay writing. Whenever you write essay, there are 2 parts of the topic. First is topic, second instructions. These days, a vast number or large majority of young people go to foreign countries for extensive period of time for education and this and that and all that, okay? Now, after that, they may say, what are the advantages and disadvantages? It means it is advantage, disadvantage essay. If they say, do you think this is a positive or a negative development? You can write on that. If they say, how far do you agree or disagree with the idea of going to the foreign country? So these are instructions. Read the topic, understand the topic, read instructions, understand instructions, and then accordingly you can write your essay. In body, the number of paragraphs, that entirely depends on you. Introduction, conclusion, you have to write. So try to read. And in this book, we've got 100 essays on the most common topics which have appeared in IELTS. So if you read these essays, read 5 essays, write 1. This can help you. Finally, speaking. IELTS speaking has 3 parts. The first part is easy peasy, where you have to answer 5 to 10 questions on some familiar topics, hometown, shopping and all that. The second part, where they give you a cue card, right, a topic where you have to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. And the last part is what they call discussion. Now remember, for IELTS speaking, it is important that you know the main things about yourself. Like, what is my favorite shopping mall? Do I drink tea or coffee? I should be familiar with that and I should know about that. Okay. The second thing is, in speaking part 1, you can answer any question using this 3-step formula. Number 1, direct answer. Number 2, elaborate your answer. And number 3, conclude your answer. For speaking, there are 150 speaking part 1 topics which are very, very important. 150 cue cards which are commonly given in IELTS exams all over the world, and part 3 depends on part 2. So we have a book on IELTS speaking which you can see on your screen. This is called Examiner's Book for IELTS Speaking. This book contains these topics, sample questions with 9 band answers in compound and complex sentences tense wise. Okay, so once you go through this book, you become familiar, but you're not supposed to memorize anything, but these questions and answers will give you a model for band 7, 8 or 9. That's all guys, thank you so much. I hope this quick video would have helped. If you are new, consider subscribing. I also teach IELTS online all over the world and in campus in Lahore, Pakistan. We offer IELTS Masterclass in Lahore, Gulberg and Johor Town. We have online classes which you can join from anywhere in the world. We have a website, asadyaqub.com, and there are some very effective courses on the website. You can visit the website as well, right? Thank you so much. Asad Yaqub wishes you best of luck with your IELTS preparation. Take good care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz.